Hello, everyone, and welcome to ConTinual, the con that never ends. Tonight, we're talking about best beach reads in the panel room, and I have some wonderful guests with me tonight. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, starting with Cynthia.
Hi, I'm Cynthia D Alba. I write contemporary, it's cowboys, some seals, but always contemporary romance. And that's it. So y'all hear more about me as the night goes on.
Okay, Joelle.
Yeah, hi, I'm Joelle Rises. I write as JD Blackrose, and I write fantasy, urban fantasy, and humorous fantasy.
Most excellent. Tawdra?
Hi, I'm Tawdra Kandle, and I write paranormal and contemporary and erotic romance under 3 different names: Tawdra, Tessa Kent, and Tamara Kendall. So that's me.
Okay. Darin.
Hey, I'm Darin Kennedy. I write paranormal thriller and contemporary fantasy. These are the contemporary fantasy and these are the paranormal thrillers. And I have a couple other books that we'll talk about along the way.
Excellent. Patrick?
Hey, I'm Patrick Dugan. I am the author of the Darkest Storm trilogy, which is teenage superheroes, and I also write steampunk, along with some other various and sundry things.
Most excellent. And I should have said, I'm your host, Jeanne Adams. I write paranormal romantic suspense, urban fantasy, and space adventure with my friend Nancy Northcott. So, beach reads. It's getting on vacation time, beach season, or if you're not a beach person, going to the mountains, getting in the RV, going away. So what do y'all like to take with you to read when you go on the road, when you get away from it all? What about you, Patrick? What's your go-to?
Usually urban fantasy is my go-to. Whether it's the new Jim Butcher book or a Kevin Hearn novel, something along those lines. Although my all-time favorite for beach reads was I picked up Martha Wells' The Murderbot Diaries, and that was a fantastic read sitting at the beach because it was short and just so good. So that one I highly recommend. That's a page turner. Really enjoyed that one.
Cool. Tawdra, what about you?
Romance, always romance at the beach. Every now and again, if Stephen King has a new one out, I'll take that one because, horror at the beach, that you definitely need it. He wrote one called something Key, and that was right after we moved to Florida, and I read it right on the beach, and it was really, really eerie to be there. But my favorites right now are Ellen Hildebrand. I love her beach books.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's been, those are some of my favorites. And it's got to be a book. I can't, most of the rest of the year I read on my phone or on Kindle, but when I'm on the beach, it's got to be a book.
Yeah, I really like that too. It's just something about the beach and a book in your hand, and yeah, that's cool.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
What about you, Darin?
It's funny, I hadn't thought about this in a while. Way back at the beginning of time, I went on a family vacation with me and one of my best friends. And we went to Daytona Beach, and I remember thinking that it was a really good idea to walk down to the next pier because it just didn't look all that far away. That was not correct. So we walked to the next pier, and then we ate something there, and then we walked back, which effectively made sure that I completely irradiated both the front and the back of my body with as much ultraviolet radiation as it would take to recreate the whole. Then the next day, I physically couldn't move. So I proceeded to read the second Gunslinger novel by Stephen King, which is called Drawing of the Three. And I think I literally read it in 2 days because anything beyond bringing food to mouth or turning a page was exquisitely painful. And yet I still somehow enjoyed the book. So I would say I'm also in the Stephen King fan. The last couple of times I've been on vacation, I'm not as much of a beach person, but like when I've been on vacation, I sat on top of a hotel next to the pool in Toronto and read The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. And it was so good that I literally sat there and read it until the sun got so low that I could not read outside anymore. And then I had to go inside my room and finish reading the book. And then last I would say is another Neil Gaiman book, when I went out west with my family several years ago, but much more recent than the gamma irradiation trip of Daytona. I read American Gods, both on the road and in the hotel and stuff. And that is a fascinating book. And every time you're like, well, I don't know what's happening right now, he's going to have it be something completely else anyway. And so you can totally enjoy that book. So those are 3 recommendations from me.
Cool. Cynthia, what about you?
Well,
I know you mentioned before the recording started, you mentioned remembering which book the very first book you took and read at the beach.
the pages fell out of it. I read it so many times and it was full of sand, and it was the original MASH. Now, how my parents let me read MASH when I was in the 9th grade, I don't know. But if you've only seen the movie it's got a lot in the movie that was actually in the book. But if you've only seen the TV series, the book is amazing. It is so funny and so irreverent that it is unbelievable. But back to American Gods, Darin, I'll build on that. I took American Gods with me on a trip, and I trust Neil Gaiman no matter what trip he takes me on. I had no idea what the book was about until I got almost to the end. I could not figure out what was going on. But I kept thinking, I know he's going to pull it together. I know he's going to pull it together. And he did. And it's a great read. It really is. But for me, beach read is romance. And I like if I'm going to be on a beach, I want a page turner and I want to laugh. And I want to be very lighthearted. And lately I've gotten into a lot of Megan Quinn, because she can make me laugh so hard. And I've done quite a few of hers. I do them on audio more than I read them, but she can really make me laugh. I do read Erin Hildebrand, and she's good. But when I'm really thinking beach read, I'm thinking light, fluffy, page turner, chuckle. Nothing that's going to make me stay awake at night. You guys that read this horror stuff, I mean, my God, bad enough. I cannot imagine reading horror, and I wouldn't sleep forever. But that's what I like to do. Is I like to take something light and I'll read, if I really want to brain cleanse, I'll read historical romance, because I don't write it, so it doesn't matter. I don't, I just kind of zap through those.
Yeah.
Same.
Joelle, what about you? Or JD? Should I call you JD?
Yeah, I answered anything. Almost, really, truly. Urban fantasy, of course, is my first love, and I will always read that. If Patricia Briggs has a new book out, you better believe I'm reading that. That's first. Or Faith Hunter, or any of the other greats, Patrick already mentioned too. But the other thing I like, unlike, I guess, Tawdra, you were saying you like to have a real book in your hand, because, like, for example, I'm traveling in a couple weeks and I'm going pretty far away. I love my Kindle for this. And because I can have my entire library at my disposal, and whatever I feel like reading, I can read it because I have it all. I'm not locked into a book, and the little Kindle fits into my bag. So one of the things I also like to read romance, and I like when there's like 3 of them or something, so I can just start and then return it and read it, in Kindle Unlimited, or just buy them all and just sort of stay in that one world for a while.
Yeah.
That's fun for me to do that, to sort of, and I never forget anything from book 1 to 2 to 3 when I do that, which is really, really helpful these days. So yeah, I love to find like a new series on Kindle Unlimited and just sort of like binge the whole thing, and just sort of live in that world for a bit and live with those characters. And I think that's fun to do when you're not trying to think too hard.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I love to have a book in my hand at the beach, but if I'm traveling for work or anything like that, I love to have my Kindle, because when I used to go on vacation, at any point, I would carry a bag of books because I read fast.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you got to have more than one. And I recently read Rebecca Zanetti's post-apocalyptic series, and there are 8 books in the series, I think. And it was what you're talking about, Joelle, which was great because I could just go from one to the other. So they're all out and I could just go read them.
Yep. That's the best. I mean, that's why I think people like series, right? I mean, so many people like to read a series because
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to stay in that world. You want to be with those characters, or there was, another set of characters in that same world. And I don't know. I mean, I can't really think what I first read as a kid. I read so much as a kid, and I would be like you. I'd have like this giant bag of books, right? And like a bathing suit, a pair of shorts, and like a bag of books.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Trixie
Um,
Belden. Surely you grew up reading Trixie Belden and Nancy Drew and that.
oh, Nancy Drew for
Trixie
sure.
Belden. Yep. Mhm.
But I do remember taking my kids. So obviously as a grown up, we took our kids skiing, and I do not ski. We should just be clear. I tried. It didn't work out. And
Yeah.
so and I have a bad neck, and like I can just imagine walking into my doctor's office saying I went skiing, and he'd be like, just get out. You're too stupid. So I can't fix you again. So I my entire reason for being on that vacation was to take the girls into the bathroom in between like ski runs, and strip all of that stuff off, and then like get them
Help
resituated.
them and then get them back.
Right. Or have food ready for when they came in, starving. So all I did was read, and I plowed through the Hunger Games, all three of them. And that's what I did on that vacation, that and like take care of children. But as soon as they were back out on the slopes, I'd be like, go, 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 go. Got a book. And yeah, that's what I did. I read all three in the Hunger Games series, like just chomped it up.
Yeah, those are great. Those are great. Those are almost better vacations in some ways because you get time alone in your headspace and everybody else is somewhere else. I am not a beach person like Darin. If I'm on the beach, I am lobster colored. So I'm a burn and peel girl. So I don't go to the beach until like 5:30 in the afternoon. So I drive everybody down first thing in the morning. They go play. I go back to the beach house and I either work or I read. So that always makes for a great vacation for me too, because they're all gone and I get to read. Patrick, is there some series that you've taken on vacation or some that you would recommend as a great vacation read or beach read?
Sure. So one of my favorites is the Shauna McGuire, Wayward Children. Those are fantastic books. Lots of adventure, quick reads. They're novellas, so they're short. And you can, like JD was saying, I would pick it up and just plow through. You could read all of them. They're in like a day. I mean, they're just fantastic books. The other one I would say is, not to embarrass Joelle, but I really love her Zombie Cosmetologist. I really look forward to those. They crack me up. So luckily I get to read them ahead of time usually. So, but you
would probably like those too, Cynthia, because they are crack ups.
They will.
I do love things that make me laugh. I mean, that's more than anything. If you make me laugh, I'm your fan. I'm your fan.
I think you'll laugh.
Yeah.
Good.
First line in the.
Oh, don't tell her. She has. Don't tell her. Don't tell her.
I'm not gonna tell her. The first line will get you on the floor, and then you just go from there. So that's
what I want.
Yeah, it's very. It's a lot of fun.
Right, that one.
That one. Yeah. And then there's like John Hartness's Bubbaverse are a lot of fun.
Oh Lord, that'll make you laugh so hard it'll hurt you.
Yes, and so
your pants.
But there's also, you've got the Bubbaverse. You've also got Joelle writes in that suit as well. But Les School writes in there. Mason Dixon, Gail Martin writes in there. So there's a ton of connected materials. So if you run out of one author, you've got many more to choose from to stay in the same kind of world, which is
that's a great suggestion for a vacation read. Yeah.
They are just so much fun to read. So, you just can't, and that's, I agree with Cynthia. I like to just read something that's fluff. I don't want to think too hard. I just want to sit and veg and have somebody, tell me a tale and let me enjoy my time.
Yes.
Yeah. Tawdra, what about you? Are there some that you just would tell anybody to go binge read?
Ugh, let's see. I am an eclectic reader. So and I was thinking, Cynthia, when you were talking
all
about
the
laughing,
better.
no,
All the better.
all the better, right? I was thinking, yeah, Ellen Hildebrand is not the one you want to read if you want to laugh, because hers are not. No, hers are not about laughing, but they are beach set because they're mostly set in Nantucket, and so that does that puts me in the mood. I tend to toss in all the books that I've collected throughout the year. And I live in Florida, so beach season is year round. And I am a beach person. Like I am planning a trip down tomorrow. I'm just going to go down and spend the day. So that's
Yay.
that's my happy space. But I love to just, as I said, toss in books that I picked up throughout the convention season, when you get books in your bag, and so
Yeah.
they always end up, I have a beach bag and I just toss all those books in there. And so I'll just pick one out and start reading. And I do like nonfiction, because I am, if anybody has done, the Gallup strength class, whatever, with Becca Syme, I'm a learning and input I'm very high on that. So for me, reading something nonfiction is actually fun. I love to read something that's like history or something I don't know about, or, a biography. So I love that. That's like the best of both worlds. Get to sit on a
Absolutely.
beach and learn stuff, right?
Well, especially if they're telling you a great story. JD, you were talking about that before we started. What were the two that you had held up?
Yeah. So these are nonfiction, and I like them for different reasons. So this one, which you can see, I'm literally reading, because you can see on my tabby, is Daring Greatly by Brene Brown.
Yep. That's very good.
And pretty much anything by her is inspiring. And I think what I'm liking about this, and the reason I'm reading it so carefully and like literally tabbing sentences that I like, are because it just, I think it's really good for writers, as if you're a writer, as well as a reader. It just talks about taking chances, and how to lead that kind of like really true life, I guess, is this sort of, I mean, just such your best life, to sound very Oprah. And this one, which I know, Jeannie, you like. Hold on,
yeah, it's fabulous.
The Raven Master. This is a true story. This is written by the yeoman warder, the Raven Master, at the Tower of London, about the ravens. And
it's
so
absolutely fascinating.
So this is just another very, very cool book that I think are, nonfiction, but work really well for, when you have a little time to spend, I think is what it is. You're like, you have a little time to spend, and you can sort of sit there on a chair with a drink in hand and then tell everyone to go play in the pool and leave you alone.
Yeah, the last time I was reading a nonfiction book at the beach, I got a lot of stares, though, because the book I was reading was The Invention of Murder.
Yeah.
Right.
which is about this thick, and it's by Judith Flanders, and it's about how the Victorians invented modern crime solving. And but it's got a big black skull on the front. It's very and Patrick,
this is
you
where
mentioned,
your Kindle helps. This is
that is true. It's not quite so obvious that you're reading something weird. Patrick, you had mentioned Murderbot, and it did win the Nebula this year for best novel. So yeah,
she just does such a good job. And if you like audiobooks, the narrator on that is just spot on, perfect. He just does that.
That's great. Oh, that's great. Sometimes you get the audiobook and you're like, yeah, no. So that's good to know.
Yeah, if you have an expectation of what it should sound like and it doesn't.
It doesn't, yeah. Darin, what about you? What's some series type reading or fun nonfiction that you would read at the beach?
A series, this one's an old one, but this was always one of my favorites. A good series that I've always enjoyed is sort of the beginning of lit RPG, like before lit RPG was a thing. I really enjoyed The Guardians of the Flame by Joel Rosenberg back in, this is from the 80s, but I still think that one holds up. That's a pretty very engaging and fun. It's fun, but it's also in very engaging and very intricate. But it's like the first time you ever read, hey, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Wait, we're in Dungeons and Dragons. And like, that's like every third book now, but back in the 80s, that was like a first. And I think it's still, along with a lot of other story elements, stands the test of time. I like the Butcher books. I haven't read the last several, but I've read, that's a good series to go right along because they definitely follow one right on the next. As far as nonfiction, everybody's favorite book. If you've never read On Writing by Stephen King and you're a writer, that's one that I reread every so often just because I like listening to Uncle Steve talk about himself and how he got there. And I always think that one's kind of fun as well.
Yeah. That's a great book. Another one, a la what you were talking about from Brene Brown, Joelle, is Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass. It's a self-exploration book and all that sort of thing. And I had sort of basically said to myself, no more of those. You've got a surfeit of them, And I was with my boys in the bookstore and they were buying books and off in the stacks looking at things. And I saw it and I started laughing. What the title, You're a Badass. Why not? So I started picking it up. I picked it up, started reading it. Honest to goodness, talk about laughing out loud, Cynthia. That book will have you in stitches from the first page to the last. And you'll figure out a lot about whether or not you're living your best life, as JD said, along the way. So I recommend that one. What about you, Cynthia? What are some things that are like series or nonfiction books that you'd take to the beach or?
Okay. I don't read nonfiction. I used to read autobiographies out the wazoo, and I don't anymore. And when I think, for me, because I don't live on the beach, I have a house in Florida, but I don't live on the beach. I live in Arkansas. So when I think beach read, I think vacation. So
Right.
I'm going to go with Patrick here on, like, I love novellas when I'm on vacation. I like to eat them like M&Ms, just one after another, and I can just eat the whole thing in either one setting, one day, and then I'm on to something else. I used to read thick books like The Thorn Birds, y'all remember that?
We all remember the Thornbird.
And
Yep.
I would I can't read Outlander. I just can't. It's too thick. I get bored very quickly with a book. And if you don't have me by about page 50, I'm gone. There's too many books. And so I don't read thick books. So I love novellas. I like short novels. And I cannot, I'll go with you on the Butcher books on Jim Butcher. Oh my God, the Dresden File stuff is just fabulous. But I cannot come up with a series in my mind right now to say, oh my God, this one. I just can't, because I right now I'm reading so many different things that I just can't come up with anything off the top of my head. But
well, that sets up the next question perfectly. Thank you.
I'll send you the bill later.
That's right. What's top on your Kindle right now, or what are you looking at? What are you reading, Tawdra, on your Kindle before you go to bed? Or
I don't have anything right now because I just finished two really good. I did a reread of one of Serena Bowen's early series, her Ivy years, because those are books that I loved and I like to do a reread. And I just read Melanie Harlow's last of the Bellamy theories, and I gobbled those up too fast. So now I think I have. Oh, and I also read a hockey romance. Sports romance is my thing. So right now I'm like, I need something. I'm in that restless. I go to bed and I'm not excited because I don't have anything to read.
Well, if you like hockey
I've been catching up on magazines.
If you like hockey romances, you should try Anna Sugden's Ice Cats series. That's a really good one.
Oh, okay.
She's a great writer.
I'll have to try that one.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that one.
And for series, that there are a lot of books in the series, so you can just dive right in and not have lack anything to read. I spent the last year as things were not open, rereading all of Nalini Singh. She has two different series, and they're wonderful. Both series are wonderful, but completely different. And how she does that in her brain, I have no idea. I think there's 12 books in one series and 11 in the other. Wow. What were you going to say, Joelle?
So I had to, okay, so this is so funny. So Nalini sings the ones that started a while ago with the
Guild Hunters or the Psy Changeling?
Psy Changeling. Thank you.
Yeah.
So there's one that I really want to get to, but I'm so anal retentive I can't read them out of order. So I just can't. I can't read them out of order. So it's like 5 more books from where I am. So I haven't proceeded because like I really want to get to that story and find out how those 2 characters get together. But
Yeah.
I've got like 5 more books to go before.
Let me guess. The one you want to read is Silver Silence.
I don't know. Is that I don't remember. It's the one with the leader of the wolf pack.
Oh yes. Okay. You'll get to that. That would be good. You'll enjoy it.
I know I will. But like I can't, like in my heart of hearts, I can't jump. So
yes, I understand this. I do.
This is what happens when you're a Virgo.
Yeah. You make lots of lists and you can't jump ahead.
You can't jump ahead.
That's right.
Yep.
Cynthia, what about you? Did I already call on you? I'm sorry.
Part of a series I want to read.
Okay, awesome.
It's old. If you've not read Susan Elizabeth Phillips' Chicago Stars series, her football series, she
That's
has
a good one.
She has a new one out.
Oh, does she? Okay.
Yeah, just came out a new one in that series, and I was listening to one of her books. I don't remember what it was called. It's in that series, but I was listening to it and driving a car. I listen to an audiobook when I drive. It keeps me from getting murderous when people come. I can drive slow. I don't care. But I'm laughing. I'm sitting in the car and I'm laughing, just kind of hitting the steering wheel going, and I'm by myself. And I can only imagine what people thought as they passed me. They're like, oh shit, hurry up, Bob, get past her. Get past her.
She's the crazy woman.
Crazy woman. That's right. Okay, what was your question now about this one?
Well, you actually answered it. So Siri.
No.
Yeah, what are you reading?
Reading. Yeah. I am reading it's an Alaskan series by Sarah Morgan something. What is her name? Morgenthaler. There's like 3 in the series. It's and I got hooked on Alaska when we went up there a couple of years ago. So I'm reading her series. And then there's also a Kate Canterbury series that I've been reading that is really pretty good. Family.
If you like Alaska, you should read Dana Stabenow's Murder Mysteries.
I have.
Yeah, both. She has 2 different series and they're set in Alaska and both are superior.
Yep, they are very.
Really are.
I have, yes.
I like to read mysteries. I love to. I read
too.
a lot of mysteries, so
Same.
that's good to know. I do have to say, and this you asked what was up on my Kindle next, and I did not plan this, but literally what's up on my Kindle next is of Cogs and Conjuring by Patrick. It just came out, and it's literally the last thing that I bought. So I'm looking forward to that. It's the second, right, in your Fugue and Fable. Am I saying that? Is that correct? No.
Fugue and Fable is Darin.
Fugue and Fable is Darin. What is the other one? What's it
No,
called?
it's
Sorry,
Fate.
Darin.
Fate and Flux is a standalone novel. This is the first in the series set in the same world.
Okay. But you have another one. What's your other steampunk that I like so much?
Fate and Flux.
Fate and Flux, Fugue and Fable, Fate and Flux. My God, how am I supposed to keep these straight? That's also very good. But Fugue and Fable series by Darin also
is also very good.
Very good.
It's all
Patrick, did I ask you what you have up on your Kindle?
Not yet, but I will tell you. Right now, I am in the middle of Protect the Prince, which is
so good. So good.
Yes. In this one, I really like to do audiobooks, when I drive, so I can be crazy like Cynthia and scare people off. But
you look so brave.
And Lauren Fortingay does the audio for Jennifer Easta, and love her voice. But Jennifer's writing is so good, I always want to actually read it, so I end up bouncing back and forth between the 2.
I read all 3 of those.
Yeah. That then sent me into the Elemental Assassins, which I've started on, and then I just got to read the arc of the new one, which is it's Capture the Crown.
Yes.
And it's
the Gargoyle Queen.
Oh, it is so good, y'all. So that one comes out July, I think.
Yep.
And it's really, really good. So awesome.
And,
Awesome.
shameless plug here for Jeannie. She interviewed Jennifer Estep as part of Con Carolina's.
Yeah.
Fantastic interview. Just so after you finish watching this and going and buying all the books that we recommend, go over and find the interview with Jennifer, because it was just fantastic. You did a really great job.
And she's just such a great interview because she's so interesting and has so many, the stories are so interesting, and but the assassin ones they're so different than, I love it when an author can do that. Like Jennifer can do it, Nalini has done it, Darin does it, where the books are very different. The voice is the same in some ways, but the characters are different, the people are different, the worlds are different. I just love that. So my Kindle is actually, I just finished, and we were talking about this just before we started recording, the T. Kingfisher's Modern Guide to Defensive Baking. And it's one of her young adult, but it can be read as an adult book quite easily because stuff we all go through. And it is absolutely not only charming, but page turning. So Cynthia, you would like it because it's page turning and not long. And it's, the Modern Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. Now, she has some things that you wouldn't like. She has a horror novel called The Twisted Ones. She writes middle grade as Ursula Vernon, and she writes adult books as T. Kingfisher. And The Twisted Ones is definitely adult horror. The other thing is up on my Kindle.
Love adult horror. He would love you guys down here. He would love all you. He won't
you peoples.
You peoples. He doesn't like mine. Tawdra, he wouldn't read you either. But he'd love the rest of it. You Trisha Biggs. He's a huge Trisha Biggs fan. I'm sorry. This is Henry.
Well,
Hello, Henry.
Now it's a panel.
Yeah,
Now it's a panel because we've got a creature that has come in to visit. Well, I also have on my Kindle Lisa Makinwood's The Realms, which is a horror story, but I tend to read at night, and every time I start it, I'm like, nope, can't do it. Nope. Gonna have to read this in the daylight. So I'll keep trying to remember to do that when it's not 10:30 at night and dark and everybody's so.
If you like, the person I think is writing some of the best fantasy noir, probably the best fantasy noir that I have read, is Stephen Blackmore, and his Eric Carter series he's got like 6 of them out now. So you can, you have some time. They are really good. Now they are dark noir, and fantasy noir, but he's just a master. He's a master. If you want to understand noir, you should read those books. I just think the world of them. They're great.
That was actually why I started reading Nalini Singh. As somebody said, if you want to understand world building, read Nalini Singh and Patricia Reedy, because Patricia Reedy is Wrede, because the world building is brilliant. But and I agree with that. That was actually true. So what are some other things, just chime in here, what are some things that you'd like to recommend to people to go read at the beach? Patrick, what about you? Some things you've heard are good, even if you haven't read it yet?
I'm going to tag on Darin's, because Guardians of the Flame was pretty incredible. I read that back in
the day.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Yeah.
So
the first 3 at least.
You what?
The first 3
the
at
first
least.
3.
After that, I was kind of like, come on.
It's the way I feel about Patricia Cornwell's murder mysteries. The first 3, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
The rest,
It's just formulaic after a bit. But
I was reading her a few years ago. I used to love her too.
Yeah, but got a little too formulaic, as JG said. Patrick, did you have something else?
I did, and now it's gone.
Sorry.
It's been a long.
Well, we were talking about lit RPG. Was it something along those lines?
No, it's there's a series of books I read a while ago that were a lot of fun. It's called the Leech Killer series. It starts off with Leech Killer, and it's about after Earth has died, people move to 2 like space stations above Earth, and someone has released a genetically engineered assassin who is wreaking havoc in a world that is not prepared for it. So those books, I read all 3 in a row. They're just fantastic. Then he just came out with a 4th one recently.
That's great. Tawdra, what about you? Anything else you'd like to, even if you haven't read it, that you've heard great things about?
Well, I will say, as far as that I have read, Ilsa Madden Mills football books and Helena Hunting's hockey books. I just read one of hers too. All great. Yeah, they're good. Elle Kennedy, Kristen Callahan. Oh, Kristen Callahan has 2 books out that are absolutely terrific. The latest one I think is called Make It Sweet, and I'm seeing if I have it up here that I can see what the other name was, but it's really good. If you find Make It Sweet, oh, Dear Enemy is the other one. So, and they're kind of companions. Read Dear Enemy first, Kristen Callahan, and then Make It Sweet, and they're both really good. And they're romance, but they're not maybe light romance. They're a little bit darker. And I just realized what is on my Kindle right now is actually a Claire Kingsley called Protecting You. So that one I'll give a shout out to Claire Kingsley, because we're all trying to support her right now. So I'll give a little shout out. I haven't heard of that one, so
I will check that one out. I recently just finished Quanah Jackson's Real Men Knit. And it is absolutely charming. And Farrah Roshan's The Boyfriend Project is brilliant. And there's a new one that I'm really looking forward to that you all will, because you all go to cons and you know this. Ceresia Glass has one that's a romantic comedy, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's about cosplay at a con. And so it's like at everything, we all know about cosplay and all that stuff and how much fun it is. So JD, what about you? Anything else you'd like to throw in there as a in the smorgasbord of, hey, this sounds great and I want to read it?
Check out almost anything by Lindsay Buroker. I don't know if I'm saying her last name. Buroker. I don't know. Buroker. Yes. Anyway, she has science fiction and straight fantasy with dragons. I haven't read the sci-fi, but the straight fantasy with dragons is a hoot. So much fun. High recommend there. Naomi Novik, just a great author. Just a great author. I totally recommend. And another series that I really like that combines fantasy and library portal magic, library punk, as I like to call it, and mystery is the entire Genevieve Cogman Invisible Library series.
Yes, so good.
So good. So
that's one of those ideas. That's one of those ideas, sort of like Ilona Andrews's Innkeepers, that I go, damn, I wish I thought of that.
Right. I mean, the heroine, this is the setup, this doesn't mess up anything. The heroine is literally a librarian representing a special interdimensional library that saves original copies of books and goes from world to world to do that. And it's
the multiverse all over again.
It's the multiverse spy traveling librarian. So, like, how could that be bad?
Yeah, they had me at multi-dimensional library. I was like, I'm in.
Totally in. So, yeah.
Well, I'll go into the Dorinda Jones has got a new series out. Her Chardonnay, A Good Day for Chardonnay, and Sunshine. I don't remember the title of that one, but she's sort of moving away from her Charlie.
Well, she wrapped it up, so.
Well, she's still putting out. She put out another book, a novella in it through 1001 Nights.
Right. I know she's gonna. I know she's gonna do some. I interviewed her for ConTinual, and I know she's gonna do some other novellas. But she's gonna focus on The Good Day for Chardonnay, and that's book 2 in the Sunshine Vikram series.
It's very cute, very clever. It's
first one. The first one is A Bad Day for Sunshine.
That's it. And it's interesting, and I've enjoyed reading them. Her Betwixt and whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Those were written, I think, before the Charlie series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think she really honed her chops on the Charlie series. So.
Oh, yeah, those were good. So.
Yeah, love those. Love that whole series. First Grave on the Right.
Yes,
is what it starts with. So, Darin, what about you? What do you want to read?
I'm going to plug books for a couple of friends of mine. One of mine is and I had the pleasure of meeting Bridget Kimmerer several years ago. We've maintained a pretty close Facebook relationship, and her series, which is, let me see, A Curse So Dark and Lonely, is book one, but they're sort of fairy tale retellings, but mishmashing a whole bunch of fairy tales up, and they are extremely popular. And she's got this entire fan base of curse breakers on the internet who follow her books and are like on every little smig of information. And then Diana Petterfreund is doing a set of books based on the game Clue. And I think in the
clever.
In the study with the wrench, I think won some kind of an award this week or something. I saw her post about it, but anything that's based on Clue gets my thumbs up.
Yeah. By the way, Ceresia Glass's book is called The Love Con, and it just looks absolutely adorable. And I love her writing anyway, her other series. And while we're plugging things, I'll plug my co-author Nancy Northcott's Boar King's Honor series. The first one is The Herald of Day, and the second one just came out. It's The Steel Rose, and the third one is The King's Champion. And I think that one's out either later this year. And I've read all three of them. Great. They're page turners. So we're getting close on time. So what I would like to do is ask each of you to tell us where we can find you on the web, what your next release is, and anything else you'd like to add about great beach reads. Tawdra, why don't we start with you?
You can find me at tawdrakandle.com. And if you can't remember that, I'm the only Tawdra around. If you spell my name right, you're going to find me.
Now, are all of your pseudonyms under your tawdrakandle.com?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
Everything is done. Yeah, I don't hide any of them. They're just they have their own page, and all of my books, are all there and available. So that I don't have I had a very aggressive release schedule, but one of the things I am doing this year is releasing a holiday themed book every month except for August, because August has no holiday. I don't want to hear about Labor Day. August has some holiday. Okay. So there's
point. I want to argue when you come to me.
Shh. Cynthia, mind your business. So we've gone from New Year's, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, May Day, prom. So the next one is Make Me See Fireworks in a Small Town, and they're all based in my small town in Georgia, which is my longest series, Love in a Small Town. So so that one will be out on July 6th. Then we'll have a break in August, and then there'll be releases in September, October, November, and December.
Oh, so awesome.
Right. And aside from that, I just did a new cover for my beach, my favorite beach book. I don't know whether you all can see that here. So there's a sneak peek for that. And that will be, so all those books are getting recovered, and the new covers will go out on June 16th. So
excellent.
That's my book news. Yeah.
Oh, most excellent. Patrick, what about you?
I just released Of Cogs and Conjurings, which was the first book in the Watchers of Hysteria steampunk story. I am currently shopping a cyberpunk fairy book.
Ooh.
Set, that's a heist novel. Kind of Leverage meets, Lord of the Rings, I guess. And,
wonderful.
So I'm my agent shopping that right now. I will probably have the second book in this out towards the end of the year. That's funny. It's called Potions and Pistols. It's the second book in the Watchers of Hysteria story. And I forgot to mention, I love reading Lee Barduga or Mark Lawrence's Impossible Times books. Those are great beach reads too. And you can find me.
And where can we find you on the web?
PatrickDugan.net. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. Sign up for my newsletter. I send out pictures of my dog every month.
That's great. Joelle, what about you?
Well, I wanted to say one I forgot. If you like taut history, you need to read the Stillhouse Lake series by Rachel King, who we've sadly lost. But if you are a writer interested in writing mystery, you must read these because they are truly a masterclass in suspense. So those, if you like that kind of stuff on your vacation, I wholeheartedly recommend that. As far as me, I do have a new cover as well. This is the Soul Wars. This is the new cover. I get confused which way I'm pointing. Wait,
You're
wrong
fine.
way. No,
Other way.
it's the other way. Hold on. Anyway, point being, I can't do it. Oh wait, there it is.
Yeah.
That's the old one. That's
Yeah.
the old one with the two faces.
Okay.
This is the new one. If you
Great cover.
if we wanted it to look a little bit like True Blood, because this really, that's what this is. If you enjoy True Blood and you thought, this is great, but it would be better if it had a Valkyrie and a flying horse, this is the book for you. Plug and cover.
Any book is better with a Valkyrie and a flying
I
horse.
agree.
Like horse.
So this
Yeah.
is the first zombie cosmetologist novella, and this is the second one. So it's Pluck and Cover and Hide and Chic. The third one, which will be cut and dyed, will be coming out at some point soon. And I have a new urban fantasy series that I'm writing for Bellbridge Books, and I believe the first one will be out in October. So I'll be
Excellent.
announcing that. And you can find all of that out if you go to my blog and subscribe to my e-newsletter, and that's at slipperywords.com. You can look me up by my name, but slipperywords.com is the actual website.
Most excellent. Cynthia?
Okay. I'm gonna hey, come back to me. I'm looking up something for Tawdra. So-
Okay.
Oh,
Darin?
So my my Fugue and Fable that Patrick did not write is right here.
oh,
And it's the 3 books.
I'm never going to hear the end of this ever.
Never.
So this is Psychic Murder Mysteries based on Russian classical music. This is Magical Chess Games that Decide the Fate of the World. And this book right here, King's Crisis, will be coming out sometime, hopefully in the next 6 to 8 months. I'm in line for edits. It's written, it's turned in, it's good to go, but I have to wait. So the waiting.
Everything got backed up because of the recent unpleasantness.
Indeed. And then last but not least, I have Carol, which
Oh, good.
Good.
Which is basically Scrooge meets Mean Girls.
And it is truly, it is so good, you guys.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Really good.
I highly recommend that one. Yeah. All right, Cynthia, you're up.
Okay. I am writing with a group of people and a group of other writers, and we write hot seal books, and it's called Seals in Paradise. Well, every year or each year we have a different edition, and this year's edition, we like last year was weddings, and my guy last year this was my book last year, which was Confirmed Bachelor. Still Confirmed Bachelor.
Nice.
So this year we're doing holidays. Who got August? I got August.
I'm sorry. That's too bad.
Hot August.
I'm sorry.
I have Googled this, and I have a list of every holiday that I could pretty much find in August dealt with food.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ice cream day, grab some nuts day. Which, yeah, we had that.
So I get a daily email from the calendar of the days that what they are and all those crazy days that they make. So yeah, they're pretty funny.
Yeah.
So my whole book is about food. my seal
Good
cooks.
for you.
And the whole book, they're in Montana, and I'm gonna have a beer festival and chili cook-off. So that's the whole book right there. I just told you about.
I just feel like you could really work with Grab Your Nuts Day when you're
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Like
could.
that.
I'm gonna work
I think
that
so.
in. I'll work it in somehow. I haven't got. I'm only about 27,000 words into it, so it'll get there. And then my other so that book is called Hot Seal Sweet and Spicy. And then I have another holiday book coming out, and it's for September. So I got August and September this year. And mine, that one is Hot Seal Labor Day. And so it isn't written. So I've got to get Manny busy.
I was gonna say, you better get your hands on the keyboard, girlfriend.
I am sprinting every day with Cindy Kirk. Every day she makes you sprint with. So every day I'm writing with Cindy to get it done. But
That's great.
so
There's
there
another great author to read, Cindy Kirk. I said, that's another great author to read is Cindy Kirk.
Yeah, he was good. But talk to their holidays, they just suck. They're not. But they just are terrible holidays in August. So, but
They are.
Grab your nuts day. That would have been grab some.
That's fine.
Well, certainly grab some attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There,
So
there
Cynthia,
you go. There you
Cynthia, where can we find you on the web?
CynthiaDalba.com. I'm the only D Alba, D''Alba. If you can remember that name, you will find me. And it is a pen name because my legal name is so boring. So, and there's like 4 million people with that name. I might as well be Jane Smith. So I am. So if you can remember D Alba, you'll find me. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I am not on Snapchat or TikTok. I don't understand either one of those. So, but I'm too old for that stuff. So anyway, that's where I am. You can find me, no problem. CynthiaDalba.com and you'll find me.
Okay, Darin, you didn't tell us where to find you. So you have to jump back in, unmute,
Right there.
unmute. There. There you go. DarinKennedy.com. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
He's here all week, folks.
Yes.
That's right. Dun, 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 dun. And so that's our panel for this evening. I'm Jeanne Adams, your host. You can find me at JeanneAdams.com on Twitter and on ConTinual, the con that never ends, on Facebook and on YouTube. So I hope you'll join us again sometime. And thank you very much to my fabulous panelists, and have a great one.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.